Collective, hello, hello, my loves. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. Collective, we have bubble your boundaries and bathe, moon bathe and hope. I feel like we get these cards. Bubble your boundaries, the Argonaut girl, but it's so vital that we have boundaries. We live in a world where even if we type them up in black and white and hand them to people, they will disregard them entirely. There's really, there's no other explanation for it other than just like blatant disregard. The justifications ultimately don't amount to anything because, you know, I guess I just feel like if it is outside of boundaries that you operate from, then it is not welcome. It is met with contempt. Its presence is disclosed as unwelcome, right? And I feel like that, like the need for boundaries is ultimately, like the holding space for hope. Because I think when people cross our boundaries, especially in the broadest of terms of culture and society, politics, religions, organized groups of gross rhetoric, it's oppressive. It kills out hope. And so you must remove it to ensure the fostering of hope. Moonbathe and hope. Yeah, we can read that one. 2. Oh, whoops, wrong book. Now is the time for moonbathing and hope. Mother Moon is friend to all dreamers. She incubates your dreams and grows wings for all your wishes. She encourages all to remember not all who wonder are lost. Roam, wonder, receive. She doesn't shine exclusively for the special, the brightly talented or accomplished. In fact, she shines brightest in the dark. Embrace those hopeful rays. Take a walk in her radiance. Bask in her glow. Have a conversation with her about all the untold stories in your soul and the wishes waiting to grow. Ask her to guide you through the dark night, bringing luminosity to all that's currently unknown, unseen, or unformed. Yeah. Well, because I think of ivy, like it's an intrusive plant, it's invasive. And so I just feel like there's a sense of removing invasive energies, removing invasive species and invasive plants. And when you clear out, or demolishing a home that is uninhabitable, and having to demolish that, having that empty space. Yes, that empty space can feel overwhelming, but what that empty space offers is, an open space for what can come next, right? That hope of what can be, because when you're just looking at utter devastation, the only thing you can see oftentimes is utter devastation. So put boundaries around that. Get rid of the devastation. Get rid of the destruction. Get rid of the house that burned and is, useless Well, in the reads, over the past few years, it's been, like the house is burning, the house is burning, the house is burning, the house is burning, you know? And how does that resonate for you as an individual? What in your life has felt like home? What's felt like something that you were fighting on behalf of that seemed to just be crumbling around you? Like is that home, does it exhibit itself through a form of identity? Does it exhibit itself through a sense of community? Does it exhibit itself through, just like a shedding of societal expectations? What is that house for you? What houses your life? Because this isn't a literal home. You know what I mean? Like we are at home in different things, in different energies, in different communities, in different mentalities. Where have we built our homes where they have burned before our eyes? And I think anybody who's ever witnessed destruction has sought to understand, from whence it came, so that they can ensure preventative measures moving forward. That's why you never forget history. You never forget history. And anybody who asks you to erase history is wrong. Immediately no. That's exactly what they want to do when they ban books. That's exactly what they do when they want to, like erase murals and replace art, alter education. Erasure is never acceptable. Three of Swords. The Moon, the Knight of Swords, the Nine of Wands, and the Sun. Well, I just feel like this emergence from a state of protection. I love that I just feel like her safe space, a safe space in a world that seeks to break you. I love that you have the sun and the moon. Yes, I am ruled by both the sun and the moon. But it's illumination. It's the guidance of, or the guidance through the dark, the stepping into the light, that holding of hope, those signifiers along the way that encourage us. We are going in the right direction. We are going in the right direction. Shutting away, holding boundaries, practicing discernment, right? Discernment. Virgo is absolutely some discernment up in there. You know what I mean? But practicing discernment. It's one of the most preventative forms of measures that you can practice. Let's read the Knight of Swords, because I don't know that we've gotten this. Maybe we have. We'll read it, because love. These cards are so beautiful. Okay. The Knight of Swords knows exactly what she wants, and she channels all her energy into getting it. Her only problem is that the focus on the goal causes her to lose sight of the big picture, making her unaware that her actions may be trampling on some... Oh, yeah. We have gotten this card a bunch. Well, I feel like this card always to me represents the boundary breakers, the people who just have no respect, even when boundaries are clear. Boundaries are, the people who want to act without consent because they think that the ends justifies the means. But when you remove their consent, or when you remove their presence because they have no boundaries in terms of consent, you're able to step out. I think you're able to bask in the hope that light creates. Okay, love. It's raining. It's so beautiful. And it's been so steady, just raining. Well, again, yes, obviously, practicing boundaries, practicing discernment, removing things that are no longer necessary, that have left us, feeling better on our own. And we have been better on our own in so many ways. Let me count the ways. But I think that in our decision making and our choices, we open ourselves up to all of the good things. And I love that. Yeah, we got this one the other day too. Ace of Cups, Knight of Wands, Five of Wands. Separating from the ones who are not aligned with us, separating from the ones who have no respect for the concept of consent or boundaries or respect. Leaving those things behind and going in the directions that, I love the otters, the Ace of Cups, new relationships, but the otters, they hold hands when they're sleeping and it's the cutest thing in the world, but what a stark contrast to the protection that isolation has offered us. Blessings. The Four of Cups and the Chariot. Yeah. Yeah, I do feel like there's just this, it's a comparison. Ultimately, it feels like a comparison of, I think about a comparison of realities, and existing in realities with energies that have no care for others and their pursuit That is no more. There are big movements occurring. The chariot is an energy that embodies like the fullness of movement, right? We can move, we can shift, we can create altercations. This is just a whole new everything. So whatever these new beginnings are, they're very much backed with a powerful energy. One that I feel like says you are not alone. You do not have to fight that battle alone. Okay. Oh, we got a bunch. Five of clovers. The clover leaf is bearer of good tidings, but of near clouds it denotes great chagrin. If, however, number two does not lie near the chagrin will be of short duration and the happiness will follow. The Six of Spades. The mouse denotes loss by theft. Nearby, it denotes recovery after great difficulty, but distant, the loss will be irretrievable. Yeah, I mean, I do feel like there is the sense of like things that are irretrievable on the one side, things that are being left behind, things that cannot be undone. The King of Diamonds and the Six of Diamonds. The Lion presages a sudden shock from bad news. The letter is a sign of good tidings when near, and when touching indicates unexpected good fortune. Well, I mean, I almost feel like whatever bad news there is, it's like it's almost like this. Do you want the bad news or the good news? And you get the bad news first, and then the good news comes pouring in. No, it doesn't feel like it's a very, like do I have to wait for the good news? It's like, which order do you want it in? Bad first, get it over with, right? And then the good news. And I feel like the good news kind of makes you at the bad news, like, oh, that's bad news. That's the bad news, Oh my God, that's the best news ever, right? It feels like one of those moments. But I think that there's just this sense of anticipation, because when you are existing in well, I think of, what is it, the Knight of Cups? And it's like, when things are good, they're good. When things are bad, they're bad. But they're never always one thing or another. And like feeling along the way a little bit like, there's this feeling like it's taking a lot longer than it should be taking. The feeling like boundaries are treated as suggestions. But I don't know. I feel protected. I feel like stepping into a sense of protection, stepping into a sense of not being alone, stepping into a sense of constantly existing in a world where boundaries are suggestions, where corruption rules the roost, where silence is weaponized. Isolation is inevitable. But to know what that means in so many ways. Protection for the one who's called to protect. I love that. I love that. Yeah, well, because there's a very big difference between people who behave poorly and attempt to minimize or shift or, whatever. Again, never taking accountability for anything. Um, they 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 create chaos, um, and in order to deal with chaos, there does need to be a level of protection from it. And so, the ones who march on its behalf will stay exactly where they belong. Yeah. Well, this one feels very just chill. It's a very calm energy today. Um, I hope y'all are doing well, having a lovely day. Thank you so much for spending some time with me and sharing your energy with me. If this did resonate with you, please do give me a like, share, or subscribe. And subscribe. And I will see y'all again soon. Bye.